Hey guys, Doug from Pine Tree Line Outdoors here in beautiful northern Ontario. Great day today. It got up to about +3. It's hovering around the 0 mark now, degrees Celsius. Just beautiful. The reason I'm here today is I was nominated for the Liebster Award, which is a European award. And people are nominated. Basically, it's like a tagged video nominated by the Austrian Bushman. Mike is over there with his channel, and I'll put a link to his channel in the description box. And he's nominated me. And if somebody from Austria is going to take the time to nominate me, I'm going to do the video. So let's go ahead and start answering those questions. Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention is this award's been going around Europe since 2011, and Mike had decided to bring it overseas and nominate a few of us here in North America, and I'm privileged that I'm one of the channels that he chose to nominate. Okay, the first question is, where do you prefer to go out in the wilderness or the woods alone, or with a group or someone else? And the answer to that one's pretty simple for me. I much prefer to be alone, and I do enjoy the solitude. And you know what? I do enjoy the company once in a while, but for the most part, I'd rather go it alone. I think it's healthy, and I think it's challenging in its own way, and I don't know, it's invigorating to be out there by yourself and no one else to rely on. You have to do everything yourself. So I much prefer to go alone. All right, second question is, what has been the most challenging hike up to date? And without a doubt, the winner of that one is the Osprey Heights Trail, which is actually just a little bit north of where I am today. It's a 10-kilometer trail that goes around a mountain, basically. So you're going up and down, downhill all the way around, and there's no shortcuts or anything like that. So for me, that was challenging, especially when you do it in the heat of the summer when it's like 30 degrees Celsius. So the next question is, what's the most beautiful place, a sleeping place that I've been? And I guess that means, you know, where I've camped, the most beautiful place. And that would be definitely, without a doubt, Killarney Provincial Park, where Pete and I actually, my buddy Pete and I went camping in August, last August, and it's an absolutely beautiful scenic place, and I'll throw a picture in here so you get a look at that. So that's definitely my pick for my most favorite place to camp. Alright, moving on to the next question is, what outdoor activities have I participated in so far this winter? Been camping overnight, done a lot of hiking. I've gone to some pretty remote areas that you may or may not have seen yet, so I don't want to say too much because I'm not sure when I'm going to put this video out. So I have been extremely busy. It's a beautiful time in Northern Ontario to be outside and enjoying the winter. No bugs, the weather's generally pretty good. Had a lot of fun doing the Santa video, and that was all outdoors. So, and generally, I don't like doing anything indoors, and you know, for videos and stuff, I much prefer to be outside. So, I do everything I can to be outside. If I've ever been seriously injured outside, or ever had to ask for or seek medical attention, fortunately, I have not. I've been very lucky, and I try when I'm outdoors to be very careful, especially in remote areas or when we're out camping or doing overnights, to be extremely careful when using saws, knives. All right, next question is if I practice survival techniques, and if so, which ones? I think most people should be practicing some survival techniques, especially stuff involving making a fire. You know, for the most part, that is going to be a huge issue, especially in Northern Ontario, where temperatures in the fall and the winter can get extremely cold. Even in the summer, overnights anywhere really, you know, temperatures cool down. Warmth is hugely important. Another thing might be seeking water and practicing boiling water, getting to that rolling boil so that you know, it can be safe to drink and stuff like that. So I guess in terms of that stuff, you know, I guess survival techniques, building a shelter would be another one that I work on a lot and try to get better at, and I'm still working on that stuff. So shelter, fire for warmth, and probably anything to do with water is would be my answer to that question. My thoughts on a permanent bushcraft camp over a long period of time. I see a lot of YouTubers out there building permanent camps right now, and I think some of them are just absolutely fantastic. For myself, I'm not really interested in doing that. I like to move around, go to different locations. I want to show people different things, and if I am going to do a camp or overnight camp, I'm going to do that in different areas. I just find that to be more fun. But I'm not opposed to having a general area where I tend to go more, and I think during the winter months, that's probably a little easier, just because you're often snowshoeing into different locations and stuff like that. So if I were to do one or start one or do a kind of my version of one, it would probably be during the winter time. But for the most part, no, I much prefer to move around and see different things and show you guys different things. Favorite recipe to cook? Well, I wouldn't call it a recipe, but my favorite thing to eat would probably be steak, potatoes with some peppers. That's probably my favorite meal in the outdoors. Nothing tastes better on an open campfire than steak, in my opinion. And a nice warm hot meal does wonders to rejuvenate any kind of energy loss you've had from building a camp or collecting firewood and stuff like that. But as you can see, I'm not opposed to eating anything. I like to eat, so it doesn't really matter what it is. I'll eat it. All right, next question is, how do I motivate myself in bad weather? And I think what that means is when you're on a trip and maybe things go bad weather-wise, I'm always prepared for whatever type of weather. I always have clothing, extra clothing, so they can layer up. Always have a rain jacket with me as well. 2 gloves, especially in the wintertime. So to be motivated during bad weather, I think it's just being prepared and knowing that things could turn, weather can turn poor. If I'm going out and I know there's poor weather to come, once again, I make sure I have all the things I need, especially where clothing is concerned, and proper shelter to make sure I can stay out of any kind of wet weather and be able to stay warm. This question is, what's the heaviest piece of equipment I carry? To be honest, the heaviest piece of equipment I carry is my backpack, full of all my other equipment. I overpack just about every time I go out. Doesn't matter if I'm going out for a short hike, a day hike, a walk, or camping. I always bring too much stuff. I don't know. I feel better. I feel more confident being more prepared. I've done a little bit better job as time has gone on to pack less or not pack the things that I won't need. But for the most part, I probably pack too much. So I always carry a heavy pack. I'm a big guy, so I figure I can carry the little extra weight around. So that's what I do. If you want to have everything with you, you gotta put up with a heavy pack. All right, guys. The last question is, what would be my dream destination for a once-in-a-lifetime a camping trip or tour? Without a doubt, I'd love to go up to the Woodland Caribou Provincial Park, where Joe Robinette and Sean James from My Self-Reliance went last summer. That was an unbelievable 10-day trip, and I enjoyed every minute of watching both their videos on it. And I think that would be fantastic to go up there and go on this massive canoeing trip and get flown in and stuff. That would be my dream, and so it's not extremely far-fetched, and hopefully someday, soon I'll be able to do that. So that'd be a lot of fun, and that'd be my dream trip. Once again, I want to thank the Austrian Bushman. Mike, thanks a lot for nominating me for this award. I appreciate it very much. I enjoyed answering the questions, and I hope all of you enjoyed hearing my answers and my thoughts on these questions. All right, guys, usually at this point, I guess I'm supposed to nominate or perhaps nominate some other channels to participate in the Liebster Award. However, I'm not going to do that. If you do choose to do the award, fantastic. I'd love to hear your answers and love to see the video you put out, but I'm not going to pick any specific channels to do it. I really appreciate you guys watching, subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you would. Make sure you hit the little bell icon to make sure you get notifications of all my videos. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pine Tree Line Outdoors. Your support means everything to me, guys. That's why I keep doing this, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you. Have a good day.